Druids and stuff, blah, blah, blah. Witch hype. Let's talk about that in 0.4. These guys got you all covered on the Druid stuff. I'm not going to repeat what they say. I'm the Zerg Queen. I run a bunch of minions and personal casting damage. I love making hybrid builds in ARPGs. Let's see what I'm excited for in 0.4. We get a new minion. This is a static 50 spirit minion that summons up to 6 or I think 8 with skill ranks. When these minions first spawn, they do a howl and put up critical weakness. There isn't really a good way for minion enjoyers to put up critical weakness because the Omen Scepter is so agonizingly slow. Hopefully this fixes it. We might have to spam them out by swapping weapons, similar to Spectre weapon swap tech. Or somehow this is going to get changed into being a mana ability and we can cast it when we cast an Earth and take advantage of weapon snapshotting. Either way, it's a cool new tool and opens up new possibilities for critical minion builds. The next big thing I'm looking forward to is cast while channeling. This was part of the Druid reveal back in 2023. And this would open up a lot of new possibilities for like a Lich player because cast while channeling works without debuffing an enemy, which means specking hard into cast, like being a spellcaster, and it works without critical strike and having to worry about that.
This is where some meta gems to automate some elements can come in handy. Here's a gem called Cast While Channeling. If
This
we
is the
add
Druid
Lightning Storm
reveal.
to the skill, we can cast it automatically while we channel a volcano as we set up our combo. Cast While Channeling is an ongoing effect, so enabling the skill will cost us Spirit, which is a new resource in PoE 2 used specifically for these kinds of skills. If we look at the top left of the screen as we channel.
There you go. This is the Druid reveal from 2 years ago, and it's showing, Druids were meant to go with Castle Channeling. They go on about it other times in the video, but that's why I think it's coming to 0.4. It's going to work with Bone Storm and Flame Blast, which is going to be great because minions should be using Bone Storm like thematically, but not having an easy way to get an automated cast while casting Bone Storm without specking into crit has really held back Impale builds from being great while doing a hybrid minion build. And I'm hoping the automation of spellcasting with cast while channeling will make Bone Storm Impale on a minion build much better. It also works with a couple weird things, like it should work with Raise Shield and Shield Charge, so new tanking options, and it works with the new Volcano skill, just like you saw in that little clip I played. We have only a couple things data mined so far that are like fairly confirmed. I'm going to talk about these 3 spells. We're going to be getting a whole spell tree. Like, we have a cult and we have elemental. We're about to get primal. But something interesting I noticed about all 3 of these spells, I'm going to show it on the next slide. So Volcano, Lightning Storm, and Tornado are all AoE spells, and they're all duration. And they kind of work independently of other spells. Unlike elemental spells where you're constantly trying to use, like with Firestorm, you need to like cast all these other spells, then pick up things from the floor to empower your Firestorm. So you're not really just like casting Firestorm and having it just do something. It's like the finishing combo piece. But right now, these spells provide something like I can just channel my inner Tassadar and have a new way of casting Shock using a lot of the same things that I'm using for my Unearth build. On my Unearth build, I run a little bit of AoE because you want to get that the pizza slice of impaling spikes coming out of the ground. You need it a little bit bigger to make Unearth comfortable to use. I already have like 50% area from Royal, and having that do double duty and work well with Lightning Storm is going to be great. It's actually pretty easy to grab a couple talents that are in the tree near where we often go to get to about 100% increased area. One of them even less minions explode if you happen to ignite them, which is kind of funny if you have both Rupture of the Soul and Explosive Impact. So, seeing that we both run like 100% duration for Unearth and already have a significant amount of area, all of these skills are interesting. One of them really stands out though, other than the shock, and that's Tornado. Let's look at the more details on Tornado. A lot of this is kind of hard to read, but assuming we have like 100% duration, because we're running on Earth, and we can run up to 100% area, Tornado does a lot of interesting things. One of them is that it sucks in enemies. That's shown in the video, and it's also shown. This is the wrong slide, but it sucks in enemies, kind of like Corpse Angels in Diablo. It is a physical spell, so there aren't that many physical spells, and so adding a new, like let's say I'm running a Bone Storm build, being able to cast tornadoes while channeling is going to be really fun as just a new source of physical spell damage. It is an orb skill, and it doesn't say it in the tooltip here, but it does show in the more details that you're only limited to one. But we path right next to this passive tree point, so it's really easy to get to +2. And if you add +1 to limit with overabundance, you'll get 3. You might be worried, well, overabundance cuts the duration in half. Well, currently, and this seems like wildly wrong, the base skill effect duration for Tornado is 15 seconds. So cutting that down to 7.5 with overabundance is still forever. And if you just have duration because you're running an Unearth build, it just goes right back up to 15 seconds. And I kind of like that as a concept because this is a homing thing. It might stick with us for a while. We can treat it kind of as a pseudo minion if it goes fast enough and have 3 big tornadoes doing stuff. And that's also interesting if we're doing like an Unearth Impale build, because it makes us get more benefits from things like Cut to the Bone, which we're going to have do Impale with this tornado, because we're going to get Impale chance down here. So we're going to have, channel a Bone Storm. The Bone Storm sends out tornadoes, and then your Bone Storms imply Impale, and the tornadoes are implying Impale. You probably run an Impale support on this. And that would be pretty cool. So that's what I'm excited so far. There's not too much else. But the most important thing coming to 0.4 that is Druid related, I don't know if anyone's covered this, is that
the animation was so fun that we decided to keep it, but just in town. So when you're in town, you can you can do your role. Yeah, it was so funny. But
so yeah, those are the things I'm looking forward to in 0.4. In 11 days, I will try to make a new video, and with all of the reveals and data mines, if there's anything to report on. Hope you liked this video, and I'll see you in the next one.